As I am still recovering from surgery number 9, I wanted to take a little time to talk about something major that actually happened between surgery 7 and 8. We had our 4 boys tested for the BRCA1 gene mutation. Now, if you've been following my story, you know that I was tested for the BRCA1 gene mutation when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, which, yes, it's a little late. My mom has had cancer 3 times, and she had done testing before a couple of different times. And it had always come back as this variant of unspecified significance, meaning they didn't know for sure if it was part of the BRCA1 or BRCA2 gene mutation or not. And so because of that, then I didn't get my testing done because my doctor said, well, we don't know if your mom had it, so we don't know if you need the testing. Well, of course, when I was diagnosed and had then triple negative breast cancer, just like my mom had had before, then we knew that it was probably genetic. And even before I got the results back, I had my double mastectomy a week after I was diagnosed. The week after that, I finally learned that I am BRCA1 positive. Now, what does it mean to be BRCA positive? Basically, it means that we all have these breast cancer genes, these BRCA genes, and in some of us, there are mutations in those, and that puts us at a much higher risk for different kinds of cancer, specifically breast cancer, ovarian cancer for sure, and also some other types of cancer like pancreatic cancer. In boys, it can be prostate cancer, and sometimes melanoma. Depending on BRCA1, BRCA2, that might determine your risk for these things. That's why I went ahead and had a full hysterectomy just a month and a half after my double mastectomy. And that's why it's such a huge question on the minds of every cancer warrior, especially breast cancer and ovarian cancer, which are at such high risks of passing on to your children. So you start to wonder, did they have this too? So in between my 7th and 8th surgery, we had our boys tested. We actually had them tested right before I went into my 7th surgery, which was to put my expanders back in. As you know, I'd had the implants removed, I've had infections, I had kidney stones and blood clots and all kinds of problems. Finally, we redid my surgery in May, got pushed back due to COVID, and we finally had it, and we had already set up this appointment for our boys to get tested to see if any of them have the BRCA1 gene mutation. Well, after my 7th surgery and just 3 days before I started to get sick from the staph infection that would then cause my emergency surgery to take out and replace my expander, which was a miracle and worked, and now has led to the 9th surgery of the exchange surgery. Right before that, we got the huge news about whether or not our boys were BRCA positive. Now, let me tell you, first of all, why not our girls getting tested? Well, because they are 16 and 12, or they were at the time, and you need to be 18 or older in order to have your kids tested. Why get them tested at all? Why the boys? This affects boys too. Most people don't know this. There's not enough education on this, and a lot of families only get their girls tested or forget about the boys altogether, or they just don't even think testing is important. I feel like it's important because getting the test done and knowing if you have the gene or not, first of all, it can put you at ease if you don't have it. Like, for instance, my sister, who after I was diagnosed and my gene, when I got my results done, another miracle of mine through this whole process, the same week that I had my genetic testing done through Myriad Oncology, which is the only company I trust. And as soon as I got it done, they actually that week, Myriad had reclassified that variant that my mom has had all these years as part of the BRCA1 gene mutation. So we knew that I was BRCA1, my mom was BRCA1. My siblings then all got tested. Well, because we didn't know for sure to get tested or not, one of my sisters had almost went and got preventative surgery, and turns out she doesn't even have the gene. So number one, it can tell you that you don't have it and you don't need to worry. You're at the same risk as other people are. Number two, though, it can also tell you if you are at risk. It means that you can then take action and be proactive. You don't have to be scared, but you can take better care of your health. You can not drink as much alcohol. These are things that kind of can help prevent cancer from coming. Also getting early screens and checkups from the doctor. And all of these things to me mean that you're empowered. So what happened with our kids? Well, we have 4 boys, 19, 21, 23, and 23. And as many of you know, 2 of the boys are actually not my biological sons. They are my nephews. My sister died in 2007 of an overdose of Tylenol and alcohol just 2 months after her husband had died in 2007 of melanoma. I know this is complex, but here's what happened. When they got the testing done, my 2 biological sons do not have the gene. So we know that they don't have it. But one of my adopted sons does have it, which means that my sister, who died in 2007, also carried the BRCA1 gene, which is a very humbling and touching experience and kind of makes me emotional knowing that we have that in common. And I was able to tell him, I have it too, so I can help you. You know, I'm here to help you, and I feel like I'm the one that was meant to be your mom because I have this and I can walk you through it and help you to not be afraid. Turns out that both of my adopted nephews, my adopted sons, have a variant of unspecified significance that hasn't yet been classified, but that they believe is probably related to their dad's melanoma. Someday we might have a melanoma gene, and that might be what they are experiencing. So we were planning to go get counseling, genetic counseling. We were making those plans right when I had this emergency surgery, and everything kind of fell apart. But that's our next step, is to go get genetic counseling, because again, when we talk about this, when we know how to take care of our health, how to get checked on, how to talk to doctors, how to advocate for ourselves, for insurance companies that might not cover things that should be covered, like genetic testing for boys, which our insurance was fighting us on. These are all powerful things. If we know that we have this, if we know that our children have it, they can also try to have their children earlier. They can talk to their partners about it before they get married, or, you know, before they have children, so that they can be prepared then for the 50% chance that they might pass it on to their children. Of course, it is personally touching to me too to know that my grandkids, through this one son, have a 50% chance of receiving this, and we still haven't had my daughters tested either, and there's a 50% chance that one of them might have it too. Of course, for girls, it means that we can also have preventative surgery to, you know, take care of, get rid of our breasts, basically, have a hysterectomy after you've had your children and before the age of 40, so that you can prevent ever having to get cancer. And that's the best part of all this. When we know our genes, we know our mom genes and our dad genes, which my other sons are showing me now, then we know what to look for. We know to be on guard. We know to take better care of ourselves. We know to have the hard discussions as a family. And I hope you'll check out my next video on how to talk to your kids about these things, because it's tricky and it's hard for them to understand, and they can be scared. But again, I think we give them the perspective that knowledge is power, and I feel empowered, and I hope my children feel empowered having this knowledge too.